All right, welcome. You're still watching Morning Live on SABC 2. Last week, Thursday, Zambians came out in their numbers to vote at the general elections. The Electoral Commission in that country pledged the release of presidential results 48 hours after voting. Now, joining us this morning to discuss these elections is Matebe Chisiza from the South African Institute of International Affairs. Matebe, good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. Now, the results are partly out, but talk to us about the delay.
Well, there's been much delay because a lot of the ECZ, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, has stated that they do not have enough resources currently to complete the counting of the votes, as well as they've included a number of other particulars in the voting. For the first time, Zambians have also voted for the parliamentary, the mayoral, local governments, and also amendments to the Constitution Bill of Rights. So this has been a large delay, and also because of the large voter turnout. I believe this year 56.7% was the voter turnout as opposed from last year's 51%. So this increase in numbers, I don't think that the polling stations nor the ECZ were prepared for this.
Now, nine candidates were eyeing this presidency, but mostly the analysts kept saying that the race was between President Edgar Lungu and opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema. When you look at the policies of their parties, what was the most appealing to the people? Because I think we woke up to the news this morning that President Lungu was at the forefront with about 855,000 votes to the 540,000 votes of Hichilema.
Yes. Well, there are different policy strategies. For example, Lungu is a known candidate and he has this experience, which I think a lot of especially older voters resonate with. However, Hichilema, and while we've seen him being more popular, is especially with young voters, him being a businessman and an economist, he's provided a different sort of aspect of how to deal with the current economic crisis that is currently affecting Zambia. And also, Lungu has, even though he managed to secure funding from the International Monetary Fund earlier this year, his policies have not done much to help improve the economy, nor battle the unemployment rate that is ever rising, especially amongst the youth.
Now, the turnout was actually higher than the previous elections.
Yes, it
You
was.
are from Zambia yourself.
I am.
What were your impressions of your country the last time you visited?
Well, I must say it was quite an improvement in terms of voter education. You got much more younger people engaged with the policies that are happening in the country. You got much more younger people involved with their party affiliations, becoming more active, having a say within their country, and taking on positions of influence. For example, a lot of Hakainde Hichilema's support, as mentioned, comes from the youth population. And Twitter especially has taken up to supporting him and also posting his different policies and ideas.
But why is it the case? Are they relating better to him?
Yes, they are definitely. I mean, some might say especially because he is younger than Lungu, even by a few years, and because he has not had that much experience in politics and is mostly a businessman, and many people resonate with that work ethic that he has, versus Lungu, who is an educated lawyer, and majority of the population haven't been to school, or if they are in school, are not studying programs such as law and moving forward, but are studying entrepreneurship, and so they will resonate very well with Hakainde Hichilema. However, it's possible that Lungu is currently still leading, because even though the voter turnout was much larger than last year, he still has support from majority of the provinces that will affect the voting outcome.
But what are some of the major challenges faced by the citizens of Zambia, especially challenges that the new president will have to address to help them better the country?
Well, this is first of all the economy. Zambian economy has been stable for a number of years, but in the last 3 years we've seen a tremendous drop, and this has caused a lot of unemployment, especially in the copper sector. Copper, which is Zambia's main commodity, the prices of copper have plunged, and this has really caused mines to close down. It has also caused thousands to remain unemployed. And the infrastructure in Zambia right now can just not support for the population that is there. Apart from this, Southern Africa is experiencing one of the worst drought in 35 years. And this has really affected Zambia in terms of its electricity output. And a lot of load shedding has been seen in the nation, which which has really caused and affected development and how businesses are able to run efficiently in the country.
So there's really a lot of challenges that the new president will have to address.
Exactly.
All right, talk to us about one of the candidates, a female candidate, and you were telling me earlier on that she's actually doing quite well for someone who's new into politics.
Yes, that's true. For example, she has a lot of support from, female voting. However, she doesn't have the main support that is necessary to move forward within the election. So for a newcomer, she is doing quite well, but she does not have much support for it in the northern province in Lusaka, and her support mainly dwells in the western province. And although this is a big and a very important part of Zambia, there has not been much voter turnout in that area. But her new policies of challenging and working on the economy and relying less on the IMF and monetary subsidies from other nations is really resonating with a lot of candidates, rather with a lot of voting population. And I think she will be a force to reckon with in the coming years.
Now, in conclusion, can you really say that the competition is tied between President Edgar Lungu and the opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema?
As of now, well, we still have 26 constituencies left to be counted for.
So it's still early days
Exactly.
to tell.
But for the moment, with the PF leading, this is Lungu's party, it's showing that he might be the likely winner. However, it's very interesting fact that a number of former PF supporters have now moved to UPND. For example, Hakainde Hichilema's running mate, Jeffrey Mwamba, he is now going to be in the UPND versus his previous PF, and Guy Scott, the former deputy president, has also endorsed the candidate Hakainde Hichilema. And even the former late Michael Sata's son has now moved to the UPND. So this move in political landscape and this fluidity that is normally in other places of the continent might be seen as betrayal. It's very interesting that the PF is not having that strong leadership support that it had in the past.
All right, no, quite an interesting one, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. There you have it. That's Matebe Chisiza from the South African Institute of International Affairs talking to us about Zambian elections. It's quite an interesting one. We'll be keeping a close eye on the elections.